welcome back to Marilyn Storytime here at Lehman Library. Oh, it's so much fun sharing these stories with you. And this season of Halloween and all the spooky things that are going on, I want to share a special story with you today. I hope it's not too scary. And today's story is called Creepy Carrots. Have you ever been creeped out by your carrots? I hope not, because carrots are actually pretty good to eat, aren't they? And they're good for you. But today's story is about this rabbit who was creeped out by some carrots. So listen as I tell you the story. Jasper Rabbit had a passion for carrots, as all rabbits do, of course. He loved eating carrots. The more carrots he could get, the happier he was. And he especially liked the ones in his neighborhood at Hopper Field. Every day he had to pass by this field where the carrots were the best carrots ever. They were the fattest carrots, the most crispy carrots, and they were free for the taking because nobody ever said anything about them. Every day when he would go by to school, he had to pass by that field, and he would pluck a few out and nibble on them. Crunch, crunch, crunch. He loved eating those carrots. And in the afternoon, as he left school and was going to Little League practice, he would stop by, grab a few more, nibble on them, and go on to practice. And then at nighttime, when it was dark, as he had to go by again before he went home, he would rip a few more out and he would chew on those. Oh, he was just so happy all the time having these carrots. He just couldn't get enough. I mean, he would sit out there all day if he could, until one day something started to follow him. He started to feel like something was around. Have you ever had that feeling where you thought maybe somebody was looking at you? Well, that's how he felt. He thought, something is weird. I don't feel just right. He would take a carrot out, and suddenly he would look around. But there were no carrots. But he felt like there were creepy carrots everywhere. He could just see them. But when he would look at them, they weren't there. So as he was going to his baseball game one day, he was fine. He came back and was going to stop by the Hopper Field and get a carrot. He pulled one out just for a victory snack, and he heard them going thunk, 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 thunk. He turned around. I know they're here. I could hear them. And I could see them, but they're not here, he said. Well, he was feeling pretty creeped out. But he went on home, and he started to get ready for bed. He went into his bathroom, got his pajamas on, and he was starting to brush his teeth when he was looking in the mirror, and suddenly, in the mirror, he could see them. Creepy-looking carrots. Ah! He was so afraid. He turned around fast, pulled the shower curtain open. There was nothing there. Oh, I must be losing my mind, thought Jasper. There's nothing here, but I know I saw them. He says, I don't know what it is. Well, he finally went to bed, pulled up the covers, and went to sleep. The next morning, he walked around. He was getting ready to go to school. He thought, should I take any of those carrots out of that field? They're pretty creepy for some reason. He pulled a couple out, waited, and nibbled on them. He thought, maybe it's just my imagination. Maybe I'm just not really seeing creepy carrots. I mean, really, creepy carrots? That's kind of ridiculous, actually. So he started eating them, and everything was fine. He went on to school, and that night, as he went home, he was walking in the backyard next to their tool shed, and he goes like, ah, creepy carrots! And he ran in the house. He said, Mom, there's creepy carrots out in the tool shed. She said, Jasper, there's no creepy carrots around, but we'll go look. So she got the key, unlocked the shed, looked around, and all there were tools, like saws and screwdrivers and normal things that would be in a tool shed. And she said, son, I think you've been working and playing too hard. I think there are no creepy carrots here. You go on to bed. But as he lay in bed, he could hear them breathing, crunchy, creepy carrot crunches. I could hear them having heavy carroty breathing. He would look around and he couldn't see anything. All of a sudden he saw this big shadow out of his wall. This big creepy carrot was coming near. Dad! His dad flipped on the light. There were no shadows at all. His dad said, I think you're just having a bad dream. Go on back to sleep. He shut the door, turned out the light, and he thought, yeah, right, sleep. I'm not sleeping knowing that there are creepy carrots in here. So he stayed awake all night. And the next morning he got up and he thought, oh, I just know these creepy carrots are around. And everywhere he went, he could imagine those creepy carrots. He'd look in the windows and they would be peeking out behind curtains. And he went past the cemetery and there were creepy carrots growing out of the ground in front of the tombstones. And everywhere he went, up in the gutters in the houses, and down in the gutters on the ground by the curb, he could see creepy carrots everywhere. But when he really looked at them, they weren't there. My parents were definitely wrong, he said. I know there are creepy carrots out here everywhere. What am I going to do? Well, finally, he decided, I know. Tomorrow's Saturday. I'm going to go to the supply store and get some wood, and I'm going to build a fence around that Kraken Hopper field. And if they can't get out, then they can't scare me. So he got lots of wood. He got some saws. He spent all day building a big, tall fence around Kraken Hopper Field. He enclosed that carrot field completely. In fact, he even got a digger and built a big trench around there. In addition, put some crocodiles in there, and he thought if those carrots get out, they will get eaten up. Those carrots will never get out of here. And he finally went home and felt good. He didn't see any more creepy carrots. But the thing that happened, the carrots that were inside the fence, do you know what they did? They cheered. They said, yay, our plan worked. We've kept Jasper out of the field, and he's never going to eat one of us again. Hip, hip, hooray, they said. And that's the end of the story. They had the trick on Jasper. I hope you like that creepy carrot story. There's also some other books written by the same author. It's the creepy pair of underwear, which are like neon-colored underwear. If you haven't read it, you should read it. And there's also the creepy crayon book. It's very similar, and you'll like each one of them. So come to the library, check out those books, and be a little bit creepy for Halloween if you dare. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.